welcome to Get Your Chocolate On. I'm Dr. Amanda Kemp.
And I'm Miss Makeda.
And we, of course, are your hosts. And this episode is brought to you by Black Girl Magic, a CD that is meant to be for your enjoyment, liberation, and self-care. So I hope you guys will all check it out. I'm going to ask Miss Makeda to put it in the chat since she's controlling all the technology right now.
It is.
Which is so
that's
cool.
the wrong copy paste.
So
Wait 1 second.
Yeah, okay. So while Makeda's putting that in the chat, I just want you all to know that Racial Justice from the Heart, which is my company, which is the sponsor of today of Get Your Chocolate On, our company is committed to profound human connection built on justice and compassion. And we know that both are possible because both happen and both are needed if we really want to create transformation. So what's our theme, my goddess?
This week, our theme is shadow self and also poetry. Well, because we got to wrap up last week's theme a little bit.
Oh, yes.
With our poem. So we're going to talk about our shadow selves a little bit, embracing your shadow side. And then hopefully we can get a little into AOC updates. And,
we love AOC.
Yeah, she has some new news. I don't know if you've heard.
Oh, no, I haven't.
It's not good news. Sorry.
Oh. Okay, this is Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez we're talking about, who we both have a crush on, but okay. I guess you can lay the bad news on me later.
Yeah.
So last time we were together, we spoke with Anatalia Valles.
Yeah, she was
right?
great.
And she was great. Makeda had a friend crush.
Oh my God, stop.
I know you did. I could tell because she got shy.
Yeah,
her face got shy. But anyway, so shout out to Anatalia. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Yeah.
And we promised that we were going to come back to This Bridge Called My Back. And it is the 40th anniversary of the publication of that book.
Nice.
Yes. So shout out to all the women of color feminists.
It took a lot to get that book out.
Yes.
So when I read in the intro,
oh really?
They were putting in work.
Yes.
They really were. It was not an easy feat for them.
So well, if you've heard of This Bridge Called My Back, why don't you just put something in the chat or in the comments, like put the number 1 if you've ever heard of the book, This Bridge Called My Back, just so we know like how much of a mystery is it for folks, or is it like, is this something like, old hat for you? And while people are doing that, maybe we could read the what do you call it? Like the title poem. That's like the touchstone of the book.
You would know. I wouldn't know.
Well, okay. Like the heart of the book is this poem, what she's saying. So we're going to read it out loud. Would you like to start?
Okay. Yeah, I can start.
Okay.
All right. It's by Kate Russian.
I don't know how to say that.
So she says, I've had enough. I'm sick of seeing and touching both sides of things. Sick of being the damn bridge for everybody.
Nobody can talk to anybody without me, right?
I explained to my mother, to my father to my little sister to my brother to the white feminists to the black church folks, and the black church folks to the ex-hippies to the black separatists, and the black separatists to the artists, and the artists to my friends' parents.
Then I've got to explain myself to everybody.
I'm doing more translating than the goddamn UN.
Forget it. I'm sick of it.
I'm sick of filling your gaps.
I'm sick of being your insurance against the isolation of your self-imposed limitations. Sick of being crazy at your holiday dinners. Sick of being the odd one at your Sunday brunches. Sick of being the sole Black friend to 34 individual white people.
Find another connection to the rest of the world. Find something else to make you legitimate. Find some other way to be political and hip.
I will not be the bridge to your womanhood. your manhood, your humanness.
I'm sick of reminding you not to close off too tight for too long.
I'm sick of mediating your worst self on behalf of your better selves.
I am sick of having to remind you to breathe before you suffocate your own full self.
Forget it. Stretch or drown. Evolve or die.
The bridge I must be is the bridge to my own power. I must translate my own fears, meditate my own weaknesses.
I must be the bridge to nowhere, but my true self. And then I will be useful.
This is so interesting. I feel like
The Bridge Poem by Kate Rushin, for those of you who just joined us.
Like, does everybody feel that way? Does everybody feel like they're a bridge to someone else? Because I know I can relate to that, but I'm like, is that
I relate to it.
I am relatable to everybody?
Why don't we ask? Let us know in
Did you
the
find
chat
that
or
poem
the comments.
relatable? I found it really relatable. The way, I think when you're that mediator person or the person that maybe you just tend to stick up for other people, explaining the hippies to the Black separatists, explaining your friends to your friends' parents, it's like so much of that stuff. I feel very much like that. Okay, yeah. So some other people feel like that too.
Yeah, that's capturing that. And I think that's definitely for you naturally.
Yes.
Because of her, because she's a Libra and they really do mediate a lot, right?
Yeah, we end up doing it. I also have lots of different friends in different friend groups, and each one is like full of different experiences. So of course, when I hear slander about a group, I'm inclined to stick up for them if I know somebody is a part of that group.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm inclined to try to make others understand that's something that is just a drive in me.
Yeah.
But I feel her, and what she said at the end, I must be the bridge to nowhere but my true self. What does that even mean?
I must be the bridge to nowhere but my true self. So maybe it means, because I know we're going to be talking about the shadow self, but it's like there are different parts of you as well, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes we have this external self that we show to the world, that we create to get along.
Yeah.
Or to be accepted. But we lose that connection with our true self. And so
but what if that outer self also changes a lot and it's also always shifting? Then I feel like that changes what the inner self looks like.
Okay, well, I think the inner self stays the same.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it depends on your personality too.
Well, when I was 19, I'm not sure what I thought. I mean, I'm just trying to relate to you. I know at a certain point in my mid 20s, maybe when I was, young adultish, I really did think that there was no absolute self. Mm-hmm. I think I always thought there was a soul, but I think I got really materialist.
Mm-hmm.
I don't mean materialistic, but materialist. More like in a Marxist sense. Have you heard of Marx?
Yes, I've heard of Marx, but you're gonna have to explain materialist a little bit more.
Well, it's this like kind of view of the world where the world is all things that you can touch. And,
okay, so you were lacking on the spiritual.
Yeah, I kind of moved away from a spiritual thing, and I was thinking like there is no essential self. There's just shape-shifting and shape-shifting. Yes, shape-shifting. Depending on time and circumstance. Here comes
Our
the chocolate
friend.
lab.
Oh my God, we missed him today. He's been out.
I did not miss him.
Well, I missed
He hasn't been gone that long. He was just a couple of hours.
He just busted the door open. Let me close it.
Okay. Well, anyway, Makeda was saying, is there this authentic self that you're going back to? My true self. And now in my 50s, I'm back to, there is a true self.
I think I can kind of catch on to what you're saying when I picture like your inner child, that kind of like certain things and curiosities or like a level of curiosity stays with you your whole life.
Mm-hmm.
I can see that. Definitely.
Mm-hmm. So so there are different levels and things, and that resonates with you.
And definitely in childcare, I think when I'm taking care of kids, I'm like, I wonder what traits about you are gonna go on with you throughout your life. Like,
that is true.
I thought that about you. Yeah, I mean, okay, so there's a really rambunctious like first grade girl, and I'm like, are you gonna stay rambunctious? I don't know. But right now, you are bold. Like you are just out of this world bold. Yeah, but
I like
anyways,
that.
I like it too, but
You're
I know
out
that
of
was
this
me, and
world,
I kind
like-
of ended up not how I thought I would. So
Well, but yes and no, because I didn't really understand an introvert
yeah, that's
truly
true.
until I really got to understand Makeda. I really didn't.
And it was very clear she didn't, 'cause she's always trying to drag me places, and I'd just be like, you have to understand this offers nothing to me. Like, it truly, yeah.
I thought I
you
was
get it
being a
now.
bad parent if I didn't drag her. So I dragged her. And then once we were in a car with someone else who I love and who she loves, who has since passed away, but Makeda literally put a blanket over her head to get away from us. And I realized, wow, she really does not like being around people.
That's so funny.
That is the
That's so
moment when I
funny.
realized.
Yeah, that sounds about right to me. I just like my space sometimes, and just the illusion of space was enough to kind of bring me back.
Yeah, you really.
Yeah.
So who
And
knows
those
what
are-
that little girl is gonna do? But I think you're right. Some things stay, and that stayed with you. I mean, that
That's
is true
true.
to you even to this day.
True.
You're just like, I have to leave now, and then we watch her go bye.
Well, I still see you like as a youngster sometimes in the way that you can be like a really ambitious student in like whatever little class setting she's in. She's like raises her hand first, always trying to get in there, trying to be the demonstrator. And I'm like, wow. I feel like we did talk about this last week.
Did we?
When you said, maybe I was at dinner though, you told me you were so surprised when you sat in on my class and I wasn't
That was
raising
at
my
dinner.
hand.
Yeah, that's true.
And because she was such a
hand raiser.
hand raiser.
And her brother is a hand raiser.
He is a hand raiser.
Yeah.
And that's something that's been about him his whole life.
His
He's
whole
still like
life.
that. You're still like that.
True. But your
So,
father
yeah.
is like you.
Yes, he is.
And I thought he was that way because he had been scarred. I didn't know that you could be that way just because you
With
are
no
that way.
trauma.
Right. I didn't realize that until I really saw her doing this, and I was like, oh wow, this is for real. This is not a weakness to be overcome either.
And it really goes to show people have like fundamental differences, and that's something you can't even really wrap your head around, that it's possible and real until you like a loved one or someone is really trying to express you like, no, this is happening, this is like a thing that you can feel. 'Cause
Yes.
it's hard for me to get that some people would feel more energized after leaving a situation full of people.
Yeah.
That's like, what? It doesn't align with
Yeah.
anything, so I can't believe it's real until I meet people and learn their experiences.
Yeah.
So weird.
True. So anyway, this bridge poem, it's called The Bridge Poem by Kate Rushton from This Bridge Called My Back. We highly recommend it. It's published in 1981.
Yes.
It is the 40th anniversary of this seminal text collection of writings by women of color who are embracing feminism from their perspective.
Right. There's
as
also
women of
some
color.
LGBTQ women in that book, and they have
100%.
really amazing pieces as well.
Amazing, important. So
It's a good resource, I feel like, if you want to look at intersectionalism and stuff like that. Intersectionality, I mean.
yeah. So we so thank you, Makeda.
You're
Thanks for that
welcome.
poem. And y'all remember Anatalia Valles. Beautiful. We got to support each other, support these women of color authors out here, especially these young ones coming up.
I gotta give it to, writing a book, putting it out there, it's really something.
It is. And so I've been also thinking about your book, but we can talk about that later.
I love that.
I am, because sometimes you've written a book, but you don't know
Yeah.
until someone else looks at it and says, this is a book. Because that's what happened to me. So, whatever happens to me, I want to pass on to somebody else.
It's so crazy. Like, and then even seeing the value in your work,
Yes.
sometimes it really takes somebody else. I'm
Yes.
always surprised when people like the creative stuff I've come up with. It just never sounds good to me. But anyways, I did a lot of research on the shadow self, and I found some interesting things.
Well, before you bring up the shadow self, I just want to introduce it by saying Groundhog's Day.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
let's talk about it.
So today's February 4th,
Uh-huh.
and Groundhog's Day is February 2nd. And as you all know, if the groundhog sees its shadow, then we're going to have
6 more weeks.
6 more weeks of winter. And if it does not see its shadow, then we're going to have an early spring.
That's all right.
So Makeda, do you know? I actually don't know what happened.
I think he 6 more weeks of winter.
Okay, so he saw the shadow. Okay.
It's so funny. I saw a tweet. It was like, men won't believe in astrology, but they believe in and it shows a picture of them all holding a groundhog on a velvet pillow with their top hats on. It's just like, wow, yeah, very excessive. I feel like tradition can make us really dumb sometimes.
Yes. I think that's just kind of funny. I just think that's kind of funny. I grew up with this groundhog, but I grew up in the South Bronx, so I never saw a groundhog. So I really did not know exactly what they were talking about.
Yeah, groundhogs are weird little things.
And where would it see its shadow? I just could not conceive of what was being discussed.
It's confusing. It's you're put into it and you're supposed to like act like it's normal. And
right. Like, what is that word? Yeah. What is that thing?
Puxatawny Phil.
Right. So, and I happen to love that movie.
There's a Groundhog Day movie?
Oh my God. Yes, there's a Groundhog Day movie.
That is so stupid.
Oh my gosh. It's a classic.
It's a classic.
Put something in, can you put a number 1 in the chat or the comments if you have heard of Groundhog Day, the movie with Bill Murray? I just want to know. I'm not alone here.
All right, you got a 1.
Okay, good. Oh, good. Okay, Tanya. All right, Marie. Okay. Okay, Carolyn, thank you.
See that movie selling. like when you pitch it, it's Groundhog's Day, but I guess they made it out. Good for them.
Can't see it selling. Okay, go ahead. So now from there, I was saying, Makeda, we should talk about the shadow self,
which I thought was a great segue.
Yeah. So let's talk about. Tell me what's happening with you. What are you learning about the shadow self?
So what I'm learning is like the shadow self is. I didn't realize that it was built off of the things that we're taught to repress, like either societally, religiously, familially, and then self almost comes last in like what you're choosing, I guess. Yeah. But
I like that. So it's kind of societal, familial, religious repression.
That's right. Because shadow kind of, it makes it sound scary at first. And I was like, is this like, like, are you a murderer deep down inside,
Yeah.
But no, it can really be any type of thing from like being scared to receive pleasure, like things like that even. So I thought that was interesting, and I found so many. So you guys are going to learn today what type of monster you carry inside of you. Ooh. They call it a monster. There's so many. It was 16 or 13. So
maybe we can only hear about 4 or 5.
Okay, but once you hear a few, I think you might want to hear the rest.
Oh, okay.
So we got number 1, the egotistical monster. And the root cause of that is your primal fear of not being good enough, not existing, or being nobody. And this person displays arrogance, egocentricity, pompousness, inconsiderateness, self-indulgence, narcissism, excessive pride. So that's like the flip coin, the flip side. You see someone who exhibits those traits, their monster is that they fear that they're not good enough deep down inside.
Gotcha.
So I think this one is me up my root, maybe up your root too. The neurotic monster, the fear of life, fear of others and self, and desire to regain control. This person displays the following characteristics: paranoia, obsessiveness, suspiciousness, finicky, demanding, masochistic, and compulsive behavior.
No, that is not me.
Maybe that's just me. Whatever it is. I'll just read one more.
Okay, read one more.
Because I think this one is awesome. The untrustworthy monster. Your root cause is fear of life in general. And this person displays the following characteristics: secretive, impulsive, frivolous, irresponsible, deceitful, unreliable. And it's just like, there's a lot. There's 13 of these. It's a lot. The rigid monster, the glib monster, the nonchalant monster, the perverted monster. Like, it's crazy. There's so many in here, and it's the naive monster. It just gets you thinking, I guess, just what behaviors am I exhibiting? All those kind of, because in a sense, even those behaviors are kind of like your shadow self. You don't really want to admit to those things.
Exactly. That's what I was thinking too.
Right?
It's like your shadow. Well, there's a lot of ways to look at it. I actually went to a workshop a long time ago.
Okay.
I was thinking about this before the show today about the shadow self. I went to this workshop led by a Black woman, and it was like, I think it was like a whole weekend where we were working to accept our shadow self.
Yeah.
Because the problem, things remain in the shadow because we don't want to accept them.
That's right. And the ego says you deserve more, you are more. All those things kind of lead you further from it.
From really recognizing what's inside you, which is this fear that you're not
whatever
good enough, or you're not, you're what you're afraid of.
I have the cowardly monster as well.
What is the cowardly monster?
The cowardly monster is just, it comes from a disbelief in self and fear. And I mean, I'm really trying to step out of fear, but also, you know, with COVID and everything, I don't have a lot of opportunities to be doing that and to really test my willpower. Am I really willing to push myself, you know? But I mean, reading all of these has really made me want to sort of fight with my shadow self a little more. Because I mean, is it really possible to go through life not hiding anything? You know, in some ways, I kind of cherish my shadow self. I feel like that's a part of me for me and for my loved ones to experience. And they all know it's there. And we keep it private. I like that, I guess. I kind of feel like, what way could I go about life incorporating my cowardly monster? Like, is there a way to do that?
Well, so I guess the first thing is, what if you make friends? So she said this bridge to her authentic self or her true self. So, I know I want to tell the story of when we were kind of newly married. I think maybe the first year of me and Makeda's stepfather being married, we sent a text out to all the kids saying, who do you think is more selfish, me or him? Because we're having this argument because we're both artists. And I think to be an artist in this society, you have to have a certain amount of selfishness.
It's true.
Because there's so much on you keeping you from pursuing that path.
That is so right. They're a little egotistical, a lot of artists. You have to be. Same with comics. Comics, you need that strong sense of ego and not a lot of fear to be on a stage, you know, trying to make people laugh.
Yes. And so, you know, my husband and I are both artists, and but I thought he was more selfish. And he said, no, it's you. So we decided to ask the kids, and I don't think I got any votes. I think all the votes were that I was more selfish. And I have to say, at first I experienced shame.
Oh,
I experienced a real sense of hot
why you shouldn't have asked.
Shame. And then I decided to not be shameful about it. I decided to articulate it, say it out loud.
That's right.
Make a joke about it.
Can let yourself
I'm the selfish one.
About it.
Okay, everyone, I'm the selfish one.
That's right.
You know, but okay, I'm the acknowledge I'm the you know, like announce it. I made a joke about it. I was in a workshop and I was like, people about racism, and I was like, you know, I think we need to own your stuff, you know, but you don't have to own it and like stab yourself with it. You could own it and be light with it, because
that's right.
It's, you know,
and you can be aware so that in more serious situations, you know, okay, I have a selfish streak. What can I do to, you know, move against that current when you need to? And
exactly when I need to. Do I want to? I think one of the things also when you have a shadow tendency that you don't like, or that you've been brought up to be ashamed of, like, I think especially if someone brought this up in my workshop when I shared the thing about the selfish thing. There's a white man in my workshop who said, yeah, Amanda, but maybe they think you're more selfish because they expect you as a mom to be less selfish than the father figure in the family. And I was like, good point.
I mean, honestly, I think you're like,
I mean, you don't have to make a judgment. I mean, it's okay if you think I'm more selfish, but I'm saying the point he was raising was
there's more ways to view this.
Yes. And the shadow relates to what you said about society, in the sense of we're expected to think of mothers as the ultimate in selflessness, self-sacrifice.
That's so true.
Lose your life, only experience your life through your children.
You rarely hear about fathers dying for their kids. It's weird.
Or, you know, whatever, living through their children, stop working so that they can make cookies, for the classes. I always say this because I never made cookies for the class. Makeda wanted me to be a cookie mom.
I was ashamed. They'd be like, it's Makeda's birthday. They're like, where's your mom at? I'm like, God, she's not coming. No snacks. Sorry, guys.
I don't think that's really true. I think she's misremembering it. But anyway, I was not the baked cookie mommy, and I wasn't good at it. What does Peggy say? You don't have to own it and stab yourself with it. That's right, Peggy. You can own it and not stab yourself with it. I was in this other workshop. As you can see, I do a lot of workshops.
Yes, you did.
And this other woman, and she said, Dr. G, she said something like, how about embrace yourself more?
Yeah, I mean,
just embrace.
Truthfully, owning your shame takes it ruins the whole concept, and that's
shame.
what I like about it. And once you realize how easy shame is to break, because it can feel so heavy too, and it can be like it's everything. Awful. But
it can be like everything.
That's what it is.
But if you start saying it out loud, like I said, I was selfish in front of that group, and then the guy came back with, yeah, but that's because their gender expectations, and I was like, okay, I'll take it, whatever. But you know what?
Owning it and saying it,
and other people have I just to be for real, I've also been called so much by other people, but okay, maybe they're right. Mom, maybe it's true.
No,
I don't think I need to what's that word? I don't want to resist it.
Yeah,
that's what it is. I just want to say maybe it's true. And
I really do think that the people who we consider not selfish, it is truly because it is in their nature. They are inclined to give. That is like their first thing, their go-to. How can I give to you? How can I give to you? And so we learn to see that. And some people, I think, push themselves to be that. But I think most people, if you're not inclined to give, you're not going to give, and you're not going to see it as I'm not giving. It's just I'm putting my energy into me, who also deserves it. Or maybe it's not even you, it's something else. It's just not other people,
right? Or what they expect.
From you, right? And I think that's totally fine. It's just knowing your human nature, what that is. And it's like, well, if people want a giver, they can go find a giver. There's tons of givers out there. And opposites tend to attract. You attracted a giver. I mean,
oh my gosh, I don't want to reify this. Okay, let's move forward.
Guys, I don't even know.
Because I think I am a giver.
I think you are a giver too.
I'm a giver.
You give. You're like an acts of service kind of giver.
What did you say?
An acts of service kind of giver.
Oh, that's what it is. That's exactly it. I'm an act of service. You're right. I am very motivated by service, but it is not let me bake cookies for the class.
No,
kind of service.
And it,
it's a little more universal.
But I think it means true. More. Honestly,
I think it means a lot. But but at that time when you were
to your child, obviously,
it didn't mean that
much. Something different. But I mean, here we are.
It all worked out, right?
Here we are.
Remember, Natalia told us last week we were talking about mothers and daughters, and she has so much honor for her mother.
That's right.
But they also had their conflicts, she said, and you and I have had ours. And I asked Natalia, what would you say to mothers? She said, be consistent.
Be consistent.
You've always been consistent. Stay there. Just stay there, and they will come back to you if they move away because they have to learn their thing.
That's right.
Just be consistent, stay on the track. Okay, so that was a shadow self.
Right.
Do people want to say anything in the comments? Because I feel like we just had a sort of a family moment.
I know, yes. Go ahead and
what are other people saying?
Comment. And while you guys are talking for a second, I would say I have found one prompt, like a shadow self prompt you can ask yourself.
Oh, good.
One is, what did you wish you could tell yourself when you were younger? Or just write down some things if you saw yourself when you were younger that you would tell her, whether she knows you or not,
Ooh, like, can you give us an example? What would you write in your journal something, or what do you mean?
I would write it in my journal. I did write some in my journal. Oh. It would just be things like, don't let so-and-so convince you of your self-worth. Like, I would say things in a way that little kid understand. I used to hear like things, and a lot of them, they would come in as cliches and just go in one ear and out the other. You can do whatever you want. No,
Yeah, no, that does
you
go in
can
and
do
out.
anything.
Yeah.
Just, I don't know, a lot of stuff I was worried about. I didn't need to be so worried about.
And Makeda was worried about taxes when she
Like,
was a little girl.
That's
I was
right.
like,
and I'm like, who's gonna do my taxes, mommy? And I'm still kind of like, my W-2s came. I was a little stressed out. But seriously, I would love to tell her, I know you're boy crazy, and like, that's okay. I get it. But don't forget, like, focus on, find what makes you go like, wee, and keep doing that too. Because I feel like boys were my passion at one point. I was like, I had so much fun. I was just a boy crazy girl. And it was just like, damn, if I had spent more time just cultivating and like finding hobbies that I liked, and maybe I would tell myself do gymnastics earlier too. You can't get into gymnastics when you're 12, let me tell you. They won't let you in. Well, they let me in, but you can't stay too long.
I feel like that was my fault.
No, it wasn't your fault at all. If I had stayed in gymnastics since I was like 4, you would have felt bad for that too. Like, did I keep you in for too long? Did I start you too young?
I know. Okay. All right.
So anyways, just what would you tell your shadow self? I mean, your younger self, if you could.
Oh, maybe we have some comments.
I know. Well, can you think? I want to hear your thing too.
I feel like Dr. Kemp is an absolute giver. Each time you share your story with a new group, you're giving yourself, and you do that a lot. All of your work feels like giving. Bigger purpose. Oh my God, these are all people who love me.
They would not have answered the text the same way. Thank you. No, I appreciate you. And I know at least a few of you up here are mothers because I know you personally. So awesome. Thanks for that affirmation.
I think to your work, you are such a giver.
I'm a giver. It is
and
true.
to the earth, you are a giver.
That's true. I do. And I love it. So it doesn't make me feel bad. It's not like it is the giving that gives back to me.
Good.
Yeah.
You got a good gig going.
I have a good gig going. And I know.
Must be nice.
Remember like a month or so ago, I was on here and I was like, well, might be time for me to close up shop, y'all. Remember? Yeah. I was like, I was tired because literally I was having some adrenal, my adrenals were exhausted. They needed some support. God. I had physiologically, but I was thinking maybe I just need to take a break and retreat. And somebody on Facebook was like, hell no, Dr. Kemp.
She gave you that little pep talk.
She did.
Like I said, it takes other people's words sometimes to know the value in your own work.
Yes.
It's so important.
And so what I would say to my shadow self, my little girl, which I think is different than my shadow self for me, to that 6-year-old, I would say something like, you are so awesome. I think I would say you are so awesome. Don't believe any of this negativity, girl. Don't even touch it.
That's right.
Don't even touch this negativity, girl, because you are gold. That's what I would say.
So
you
many
are
things.
Gold.
As a kid, you just kind of accept whatever standard is put on you.
So much stuff is put on you.
And you're just kind of like, okay.
I know. It's dumped on you, right?
That's right. And I wish I could give both of us more resilience.
Yeah. Well, in March, our theme will be resilience, by the way. So
good. I need some.
Yes, you do have it. You have it. So that's what I would tell my younger self. You are gold. Wow, isn't that great? Well, that means if I was gold when I was 6, then I'm still gold. And if you were gold when you were 6, or you were ruby, or whatever that thing is that you identify, you're it now. You still have it.
That's right.
Don't let all this conditioning, all the lies, the shoulds,
Oh, I'm learning so much about just everything. The way innocence, the idea of innocence is so corrupted, and the way it makes adults in general feel about their esteem is like, it's very interesting. When people think like the soul loses value over time.
Really? Some people think that?
Yeah, they would choose a baby's life over an older person's life.
Oh, like that? Oh, wow. I guess so.
What's Pamela saying?
I just wanted to read.
Oh, Makeda's gonna read.
Sorry,
something.
Stephanie wants to know if there's a place we can find the shadow self list, and there is. So I want to read it to you. lonerwolf.com/shadow self, or you can Google the term 3 techniques to embrace your inner darkness, and it will show up.
Oh, your inner darkness.
Okay. But it's on lonerwolf.com.
Okay. One thing I want to say about the shadow self issue.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know how this is going to resonate with you or with other people.
Hit us with it.
So if it doesn't resonate, it's okay. But some of us were Harry Potter people.
Yeah, some of us were.
And
Here we go.
were you a Harry Potter person? I think it.
Later I was.
Did you read any of the books?
Yes, I read a few.
Oh, okay, good. Okay. Because Makeda's brother and I, we went through Harry Potter together.
Very cute.
But I did all the reading out loud.
Not
so
so
long
cute.
books.
And there's tiny little words on it.
Man, so many, but it's so well written.
Yeah.
That he'd be like, "Oh, mommy, read more. Read more."
We all have books like that.
Mm-hmm. And anyway, there are 4 different houses that people get sorted into.
Yeah.
And one of them is Slytherin, and its symbol, I think, might be the snake. I don't really know. It is, yeah, okay. And the bad people are in there. The kind of people who are like, malevolent.
I don't know what that means. Politicians, like.
Did you? Maleficent. You know that?
Yeah, I know.
Okay, like that. Malevolent, like Maleficent.
Okay, and then in the other one we got Gryffindor.
Right, which is brave.
Right. And I think what you're trying to get at is Harry Potter shadow self.
What I'm trying to get at is what if we push off onto the Slytherins, which I do because I am not a Slytherin type. But what if we project onto the Slytherins the stuff that we don't want to have because we are Gryffindor, we're brave, we're honorable, or we're Ravenclaw, we pursue knowledge for, I don't know, the pursuit of mankind. And I don't really know what the Hufflepuffs
I was going to
do.
say, what you going to say about Hufflepuff? Because I don't know what they do.
I don't know what the Hufflepuffs...
I think they make cookies. I don't know.
Yeah. I think Hufflepuffs get a bad rap. I think they're very heart-oriented. Is that right?
That could be it. Or maybe they're spell-oriented or something. Like,
no,
they're
that's
more
Ravenclaw. Oh, I don't know.
Maybe
right.
Ravenclaw is like the smarts and Hufflepuff's
Ravenclaw is
the
definitely
witch.
smart.
Whatever it is.
Anyway, I'm just saying, sometimes those kind of books, they have us project.
Oh, I see.
Onto the Slytherins. And I was in a situation recently where I was talking to her brother. And you know how Harry, he had to choose, was he going to go, he heard Slytherin, or the hat couldn't figure out Harry. Was he Slytherin or was he Gryffindor? Remember that?
Yes, I do.
And I was reminded of this because I think your brother told me about that, how Harry could have gone either way. And and your brother told me he felt like he could go either way.
That's true.
I thought it was very wise of him. And I feel like when we put it all on Slytherin, though, it's sort of like externalizing it. I guess I'm trying to say that which we really hate, that we're constantly in conflict with, there's probably a mirror over here.
Oh, for sure.
You know, there's something over here. So
for
the Slytherin
sure.
is over here.
Yes.
Even though I am, according to this test, I took Hufflepuff. But
I just smiled so hard. I just love it.
Maybe I am Slytherin.
There's a comment that said Hufflepuffs are the caregivers of the group.
Oh, is that what it is?
I guess that makes sense, you know.
Oh, yeah.
They need some doctors for all those spells going on, I guess.
Anyway, I just want us to think about that too. You know, I
like that. And it kind of, for some reason, it empowers me a little bit to know I got a little bit of Slytherin in me.
Yeah.
You know, we all have the option.
We can all be deceiving or whatever the things are that Slytherins can be. Right. You know. I don't remember all the things.
She's looking at me like
Slytherin. You know, come on, that is it. That is in here. Let's not be pretending it's all rainbows and.
That's right, but
unicorns.
And like I said, it's about that personal inclination, what your like human nature kind of draws you to more. And for I guess Harry Potter, he was leaning a little bit more into Gryffindor or into that good. I honestly wonder if it was his age, but I don't know. Anyways, that doesn't matter. I'm getting off track, but I really
I took us off track too because with Makeda. So some people that
the whole Harry Potter thing is a very powerful metaphor, and it's very useful. But because you came up after Harry Potter and the series that you were reading, I think it's insignificant. What are we reading when we're little? What were you were reading?
Percy Jackson.
Right, Percy Jackson, and what's the other one?
You know, I was reading The Hunger Games, Percy Jackson, Maximum Ride, and I feel like the problem with all of those stories is it was always like the one, like the profited person, and it's like there can only be one special one. Like we're gonna follow this character because they've got that extra something, you know, and that makes everyone else side characters. And for so long, I was kind of waiting for that to like come on to me, and then I realized, well, every kid who's ever read Percy Jackson is waiting for that to come on to them, you know. That's sort of like something that proves that we're unique. And I realized, wow, like how much currency am I putting on that idea of being, or how much value am I putting on the idea of me being different than everyone else, and you know, having that special something, having a superpower.
Well, because I did tell them when they were growing up, when they were 12, I said, when they were little, I said, when you're 12, you're going to find out what your superpower is.
Yeah, she thought I'd forget. No, I didn't forget.
And I think it's great for your kids to be thinking, oh, I have a superpower. I have a superpower.
Right.
Isn't that great?
It is good. I just remember that little devastation when I thought I didn't, you know?
Oh, no, you told me. Oh. I didn't mean for you to be devastated. I'm just thinking like,
no, I'm talking more about like realizing I wasn't the main character in life.
But you are the main character.
Yes, but not in the way where the whole world knows my name.
Right.
And that's okay.
Right. That is okay, because you're the one who wants to put a blanket over your head and try to
I
car
know.
with 3 people.
And that's what I also had to realize. I would hate to be famous. I would absolutely hate it. I would hate to be well known so much that I couldn't have a human life, you know. There's so many things that I thought I wanted that I didn't, and it's that need for like, I don't know what it is, validity.
Right. But your generation, they did say one of the most important things to kids in her group
is being famous.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I
in
can promise
generation.
you it's still that for a lot of people.
Yeah,
I know lots of people want to be famous for sure.
So and I brought up dogs. I brought the whole Percy Jackson, if you grew up in that train of books, because, and Rick Riordan, who wrote the whole series about these 2 kids who are biracial, whose family, whose dad was Black and whose mom was English, a white English woman, because those books are kind of creating archetypes for us, and there's something going on with these archetypes and projecting onto them and negativity onto the ones that you don't like. Anyway, but the powerful thing could be you also accepting if an archetype speaks to you, like you said that when you were growing up, you were boy crazy. At a certain point, you were boy crazy.
I was boy crazy.
And I always felt like your archetype was Aphrodite.
Yeah, I had to agree with that.
Yeah.
But if you look at my astrology, I have a lot of Venus in my chart.
Venus,
well,
Aphrodite.
So.
Yeah.
You said it so Southern. Aphrodite.
Whatever. You know what I'm talking about.
I do.
Okay, sorry. I hope that was useful.
I know.
The shadow self, embrace it, love it. You're gold on the inside, or ruby, or whatever precious metal you like.
That's
Do you
right.
have
a precious metal? Well, when you said it earlier,
Yeah,
I was kind of
say
my birthstone is blue sapphire, so that kind of is what came to my mind.
Really? Do you feel like you're blue sapphire on the inside? Like if you go back and tell that little girl, what metal would you tell her? Or
am I on the inside?
Yeah, on the inside, definitely.
One of those like it ends in scent, opalescent. I don't know what the word is, but it's like that thing, that color that kind of changes when you move the rock, you know. Opalescent. It's not translucent, not translucent,
but that thing like when
iridescent. God,
iridescent.
It will be iridescent on the inside.
Ooh, that's yeah. Ooh, that's nice. You are iridescent. I like that. So I recommend everybody send something like message like that to your younger self. I think that's a beautiful practice, Nikita.
I love it. I really do. Because when I look, I'm surprised at how much love I have for my younger self. It might be because I like kids so much, honestly. So then I see younger me and I'm like, oh my God, you're so cute.
She was so cute. That's true. You were so cute.
But yeah, okay. So this week
we go to AOC.
Yeah.
Because we did promise AOC.
So AOC, our girl, we're not gonna feel bad for her, but AOC did come out as a sexual assault survivor this month or this week, past week as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and a lot of the reaction she was getting from Republicans calling her manipulative, deceitful. Oh my God. Oh, anyway, I don't know, because we were originally going to talk about her reaction to the stock market crash. By the way, I listened to a podcast about stocks, trying to get my head around it. I had to listen to that podcast twice.
I know, they're hard.
It's so hard. I realized, wow, I can see
they don't teach us about money in our education system.
Not at all.
And just how crazy that stock market is.
That's exactly.
Oh, Marie says AOC did such a good job calling out that behavior.
That's right. And she had lots of people agreeing with her on that as well. Calling out that Wall Street GameStop mess going on. Mm-hmm. Oh, what a lovely woman. So yeah, anyways, I listened to that podcast twice to really get what was going on.
With the whole GameStop movement.
Right. Why it happened, how it happened, sort of how hedge funds are making money.
Yeah.
Which I didn't get before. It's all very weird, complex stuff. But anyways, I can explain it if you want, but I also don't know if people are interested in finance.
Well, as you know, we are in no ways making financial advice to people. But I would love, we would love to just as sort of like information. Are you into crypto, and have you made any investment yet in that direction, or are you thinking about these kinds of things?
After listening to my podcast, I was actually much more interested in getting invested or getting into stocks. I do have an account. I just don't use it because I'm scared. I don't want them knowing my bank information. All of that just makes me feel sticky. And I'm like, I'd rather just have my money in my account and only me move it around and stuff. But I learned that basically once the stock market moved to digital setting, it's like a totally new online kind of thing. And now it's accessible to everyone. He's just saying, if you're young, I really, really encourage you all to look into it and get into it. And so I don't do cryptocurrency. I know Bitcoin is really expensive also. I don't think I could afford to buy it.
You can buy little bits.
And I don't get it. Maybe after I get into stocks, we can move into cryptocurrency. But for now, I think I'm looking at like short-term day trading type of stuff.
Oh, really?
If I were to do it, yeah. Definitely not long-term.
Oh.
Maybe I should do long-term.
Huh. So when you say short-term day trading, you think you might actively want to be in there with like $500 moving it around every day?
Yeah, because what I learned was like, oh, this is so fun. It's also like a system, in itself. And there's so much to learn about it, and you can master it as well. Like mastery is possible. And that's why I think it's like so promising to learn it. And it's like when I'm hearing the information, how it works, I do get excited. I'm like, oh, this is how money moves around, gets to place, and like, like you said, I think it is so weird. We don't get any education on businesses in America, especially the way America was built off of industrialization. Like, where is that information because that money mindset that you need to have to go through the stocks, that's something I feel like that can only be taught. Maybe you can have a knack for money and a knack for patterns, but you got to be taught the system, and that requires some resources naturally.
Yeah.
So I see how that's all set up, and I just think, it's better to get into it than not. But we got some comments.
We have some comments on this.
Oh, sorry. I'd like to hear more about how to make peace with my shadow.
You two have a tendency to get sidetracked.
Sorry. Oh yeah, and then there's a poem name. That's good.
Thank you for putting the name of the poem down, Tanya. So this show, we promised to talk about 3 things, just so you know. Is it Pamela? Yeah. Just so you know. So we said we're going to talk about This Bridge Called My Back. We're going to talk about the shadow and accepting our shadow self. And we're going to talk about AOC and GameStop.
And it just so happened this week, AOC made an announcement about her having survived sexual assault. So
I just had to say the comments, the backlash that she received, I was praying for so much better, I guess.
Well,
because I thought maybe the Me Too movement had sort of made some wiggle room. Yeah, had made something. But
she's definitely got her haters.
For sure.
In that whole Republican area. She's, wow.
But
we love her. Send you love, AOC, send you love.
Right, exactly. And I will say, Pamela, in terms of embracing your shadow self, one thing that I've done is I've tried, I don't know if you're a journaler, but journaling really helps me because I'm very private as well. And I have a tendency of just paranoid. Like my biggest fear is someone getting my journal. I think that would ruin me. Not really, but so you can get a piece of paper, a loose sheet of paper if you don't want it in a journal, and you can write down. You can start. So I like to start with something kind of gut-wrenching to get me going. Maybe I'll say, I'm sorry, period. And then something will come out normally, an apology for something. The last thing that I did was, the most recent thing that I did was I wrote apologies. The things I wasn't brave enough to say to my friends and things like that, I wrote them out. And that was like, it was helpful to me. It almost made me brave enough to really do something, almost, but it really did help. I don't know what kind of shadow self you're dealing with also. For me, I was dealing with some guilt and some self-worth stuff. I really feel like my worth is dependent on how people receive me and how I make other people feel. So when I fail to make other people feel good, or even worse, I make them feel bad, maybe purposely or not purposely, I really feel like an undeserving person of a lot. And it's like when you feel that undeservingness, you just have to check it sometimes and just like, what did I hear the other day? It was in a song. It said, by all counts, you should have died. So for that, like, just be glad you're alive. Something, it was a nice rhyme. But so when I get to those, like, I don't know, sometimes my shadow self does make me question my worth. Do I want to be here? Am I going to make a difference? Blah, blah, blah. All these things that go through my mind. I also remind myself, well, I'm alive for a reason. I really could have not made it, but I was born the way I was under certain stars that make me the way I am. And I'm here. I just feel like this world, it's made for creators. So I'm glad to be here creating. And when that shadow side creeps up, which it does, it always does. It's best to roll with it and be forgiving of yourself. Like, don't push away that feeling if you feel sad or sorry or unworthy. Embrace it, but move on too. Don't let it sit and stink.
Yeah, don't let it sit and stink.
I think for me, sometimes I really like being with my shadow self. It makes me feel more grounded, more like I'm alive, I'm human. Yeah. Yeah, because sometimes, being positive all the time, it's cool, but it can be refreshing when you get a little upset or something, Yeah.
And it's real if it's happening.
It's real. It's how we know we're still alive, I have the urge to write in my journal now. It's like now that I've gotten going.
You should be bringing it with you.
No, I told you.
So we can hear little snippets. But I've never heard that.
If you are to write something on a piece of paper, burn it afterwards.
So you can really be for real.
Yeah. Or write all the things you
know what I was thinking about
yourself and burn it.
This week, since we were here last week, Makeda and we were listening to this song, and I wonder if we could. Do you think we could share it? Share the screen or something?
What's the song?
The song is by Thunderstorm Artis. One More Chance or One More Day.
Yeah. One more, maybe?
Just one more.
Let me look.
So if you could
it's really powerful. Maybe we can even put it on and share it.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, we're gonna do that.
So we're gonna do it. So while Makeda's looking for the song, I will just say approaching the shadow self, embracing the shadow self. So what have I learned about it? And so, you have to find your own path with it, whoever you are. And I think it does help to think about, how do you do this? And what would you share? So Makeda's given us some great tips.
I have one more, which
Oh.
I didn't say, sorry.
Okay, go ahead.
And that last one is write down a list of things that you want, and then underneath write down why you deserve each of those things. That's good for manifesting and just reminding yourself you're here to live, you're here to take care of yourself first. All right, so I got that.
So where I was pointing to is one way to access your shadow is to look at what you're hating. So I spoke about Slytherin and having the tendency to push all onto Slytherin, everything I hate. And the book gives you lots of reasons to hate Slytherin. And,
That's
you know, whatever, maybe Donald Trump is your person, there's somebody out there on the national scene, international scene, or in your very local personal family life, maybe, who you're projecting onto. And one of the things I like about Mooji, you know, and he's not the only spiritual teacher saying this, but other spiritual teachers, is they say, spend some time observing your mind rather than just going on the ride with your mind.
Yeah.
You know, because oftentimes we're projecting onto other people that which we cannot accept inside ourselves. And the more you cultivate an ability to accept that in you, the less those people out there who exhibit those qualities, the less you'll bring them in, but also the less activated you are by them. You know, the less triggered you are by them.
It's true.
So
I have to say, I noticed that a lot with kids and their parents, like the things about their parents that kids find just, that kids have those qualities. They tend to, when they're outside with their friend groups, when they're out in the world, they exhibit that mirror of that. I see with your husband and his dad, with me and you, because she like talks out loud a lot, you know, and I know it's just not any type of thing. It's just like, okay, this is what I'm doing. And we're just like, okay. But I do that with my friends all the time. And I really don't mean to. I'm just like, okay, hello, attention, I'm here. And I know who I get it from. And when you do it, I get it. I don't get mad at it anymore. But she used to be like, everyone, I'm done for the day. And I'd be like, congratulations.
Who cares, lady?
But I have our thing for us.
Okay, so we were listening to this song. We listened to it so many times. So, and I think this is about how you could embrace your shadow self. And I just felt like it resonated with what Makeda was saying.
I really recommend you stick around for it. I'm just going to share the screen now. It is so beautiful. Here it is right here.
Oh, you had to optimize it for video clip.
Oh, look at this lady.
Mama learned a thing or two.
On her shish.
But when he was yet a great way off, his father saw him and had compassion, and ran and fell on his neck and kissed him. And the son said unto him, Father, I have sinned against heaven and in thy sight, and I am no more worthy to be called thy son.
I have been a stranger to your church and the pews where I used to pray. And I have been addicted to my sin in my pain from my olden days. In my family, in my friends, they can see how much I've changed. So I sit here in this room and admit to all my mistakes. And can I have one more day to stay?
One more day to stay.
And can I have one more chance to change?
Yes.
With your cross inside my hand, on my knees, oh Lord, I pray. Lord, forgive me for my pride, in my wants and my selfish ways. 'Cause you alone have seen me, trapped alone in darkness, wishing I could find hope, and wishing I could stop this. Lord, free me from the cold inside. Can I have one more day to stay? Can I have one more chance to change? Can I have one more? One more. Can I have one more? One more. And I said, Lord, I need you now. Can I have just one more day? Just to sit down and remember the reason why we started out. And I had been a stranger to your church and the pews where I used to pray.
Thunderstorm.
You better hit stop share.
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
Woo! Thunderstorm.
Okay. So
Love of my life right there.
we love you all. And there's a lot that we could pick apart in that video visually, but I think the feeling of it, about one more day to change, one more day to stay, you know,
I love it. It's like, to me, it feels like a redemption song.
it is like his plea for redemption. So whatever your spiritual path, or, you know, whatever it might be, that's how you could be about your shadow. You know, I don't know what else to say. We're good.
He's so moving. Every time I hear that song, I hear him play, I just want to go make music. That's where my head is at now. I just want to go.
We'll
make
put a
song.
link. Oh, so today's episode was brought to you by Black Girl Magic.
Yep.
And I believe my sister can put a little link in the chat for you. My sister, my daughter. We really do. Thank you for being with us. Thank you for being here with us. And we look forward to seeing you next week, same time.
All right. Bye, everyone. Thank you for tuning in.